What's up, amigos? Neatus here. Gonna give you an update on the GL650. I haven't really put any videos out on it, and a lot of it's just been trying to figure it out, so it's hard for me to do video on things that I don't really know how to do. I'm not a fabricator or anything, so I'm just trying to figure that stuff out as I go, and I'll show you what I've done. First, we're gonna talk about the seat hoop. Let me flip the camera around. Let's look out here, actually. So the bike is sitting here. Kind of put it out so you could see without all the junk in my garage behind it, but I've shortened the rear subframe. And what I did is I had cut off the back of the Ducati frame, which the frame actually did come like more like this and got narrow. It stuck out probably about this far, and it just kind of was too long for me. So what I originally did was try to bend my own hoop, and I practiced on some PVC pipes. I don't have a bend or anything, so what I was going to do is I made a little form, a little jig. And I'll show you the first one I made because it wanted a little shape to it. I made this guy here, and then I tried bending the PVC pipe around it, and it was just terrible. And I knew it would be, that's why I was practicing on PVC pipe. I wanted to see how the pipe would react, the tube would react. I would heat up the corners, and then I'd bend it around that jig there, and I probably have some footage, so I'll try to edit that in here so you could see it. But I would bend that around the jig or form or whatever we're going to call it, and I see that, you know, it was kinking. It's just stuff wasn't right. And then I wanted there to be a little bend here just to give it some character in the back, not just flat. And that just was not, I couldn't get it, you know, that little tiny bit of a bend to look sharp enough. But I did learn from bending this piece. And so what I did was I ended up making a more simple template with a flat spot on the back and no bend in the middle. Here's my graph paper, you know, figuring it out. And then what I did is I took another PVC pipe, I filled it with sand, heated the corners up, and then I rebent it. And this one came out pretty nice, actually. So doing that gave me what would have been probably, let's see, something like this. So after I'd practiced on this, I said, hey, you know what? Let's do it on the metal. I had one piece of tube, which I had cut off. I connected this part to the very back end of the subframe. And I came up with, you know, I had such a short piece, I only had one piece to work with, so what I did is I filled this tube with sand, and then I heated it with, or then I welded one end shut with my chisel here, because this is just the perfect size for this metric tubing. And then I filled it with sand, and then I welded this side shut with my punch, and then I was able to bend it around this guy here, and it came out okay, except, you know, look at this bend. That one came out really nice, but this one here kinked. And I was just not happy with it. And I really just didn't like the shape so much here. So I threw that out and I said, what could I do with the old pieces from the Ducati subframe? And I already showed it to you here, but you can see that the old frame was much more narrow back here, this piece and this piece. These two ends here were connected together. So what I did is I cut it in half, and now you can see it's about 1.5 inches, almost probably 2 inches wider. And I widened it. I was able to attach it. It's just tack welded on here right now. I just tacked it on here. And then I took some sheet metal, the same gauge, and just fit it in there, welded it in there. And now that's going to be where I think my tail light mounts. And I'm looking to have a Honda GL650 tail light here. I found a friend's bike, and I saw the taillight on it, and it kind of matched this width here. And then I think I'll do a seat pan that's formed out of fiberglass that fits over it. You know, it'll be upholstered from the front to the back here. And then we'll that'll just conform over the taillight, I think. That's what I'm envisioning. And then the taillight will have indicators built into it. So with that, I think the subframe's done. I took all the excess bits out of here. Now I'm gonna put sheet metal here on each of these pieces here, and that'll be my tray for everything. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and box this in where the seat frame's mounted to. I'm going to box that in from here like that across to this one here, and that should make everything strong left to right. I'm also thinking of taking another tube like this and running it from here right to here to give it a third point of contact for that downward pressure of the rider. So next thing, questions I've had from people on Instagram and YouTube is how I mounted my Yamaha XS650 tank, and the tank looks super cool on here. Let's see if we can go on the other side. I wanted to do it like this so you could see the lines of it, but I guess it's kind of backlit. You can see that looks pretty cool. And of course that'll say Honda or something on it later. So I'm going to take the tank off here. The tank has some cutouts in it, and I have some foam in there right now as a spacer to get the lining right, but I think I'm going to put rubber in there because this isn't going to really have any tank isolators. That's going to have to suffice, and I don't know if that vibration is going to really transmit through all this. So here's where the cutouts in the tank here, they rest on these brackets I made that go on the engine mounts here. So I have one on each side, and I just made them out of some steel that I had in my drawers and cut them down, and now that has a nice flat spot for the tank to rest on. And then I think on the tank I'll make a little lip on the bottom right here, a little lip that sticks out over here, so the tank will be connected by a bolt at the back on some rubber isolators. Here it'll have a lip that goes underneath here, so when you put the tank on you'll slip it and it'll just kind of catch underneath there to prevent any upward motion. I don't want to make it too pronounced because I don't want it to be seen from under the tank, but maybe we'll just make a little kind of hook or something there. So that's that. Let's see if we can get this guy back on here like a glove. And then that setup there just makes it really sturdy. I like how the little tank mounts have made the tank super tight on there without having any metal to metal rubbing. So that's it on the GL650. I think the next part is to clean some stuff up on it. Areas where I've cut into the frame, I'll cover those up. Maybe smooth out the little side factory welds. Somehow smooth these out or figure out a way to cap them off. Cut these, cap those off in here, box all this up, and then fix the frame cuts that we put in there. And then make our electronics tray. And then been following a build on YouTube and on Instagram. It's from Brickhouse Builds, and he's using a GL650 motor and a CX500, and I think I'm going to go with the same coil and rectifier setup, and then I'll just come over here and I'll use this space here as my tray for the rest of the electrics. It's coming out pretty nice. That's it. I'll give an update on the CX500 later this week. I've been working on that, and it's coming out. It's working all right. I'm able to ride, run, stop, so booyah, awesome. All right, everyone, have a good day. Make your motorcycles.